Hi guys, Thogrey here with a new video, and we are here to discuss about a topic that everyone is talking about, and really I can understand why it is talked about, and it is the participation that is probably one of the lowest that it has ever been. And I have some explanations for why it is like this. I'm going to spoil. It is not about the gameplay. I don't think it's the gameplay's fault that it makes it actually a low participation expansion, because I feel like Shadowlands is not one of the worst expansions for WoW. I still think the beginning of Shadowlands was a bit scuffed. That made it a bit difficult to come back from it. But I feel like if you add the season 2 and the season 3 mechanics to the season 1 of Shadowlands, that season 1 of Shadowlands would have been the best, one of the, or even one of the best PvP expansions for World of Warcraft. So I'm going to explain it right now. I'm also going to show you what I'm going to explain. So yeah, now we are in game, and I'm on my priest, of course, and I've talked about it on my stream. Why at this very moment, the season 3 of Shadowlands, we are actually facing versus ex-glads, ex-duelists, ex-rival 2s, ex-elites, ex-rank 1s. Like in general, you're playing versus people that are actually experienced with PvP. So you're not playing versus the casuals because the casuals are gone, and I'm going to explain why the casuals are gone. You will see in timestamps all the reasons why I give, for example, the low popularity of the game, and I don't think gameplay is the problem. So, casuals, what was the reason to PvP at Season 1? At Season 1, the reason to PvP was a PvEer wanted to get some gear in PvP, because it was also a way to get gear. Some pieces were BIS, some pieces were not BIS, but you had the possibility to PvP and you were rewarded with this. So a PvEer that would not touch PvP will try to go for PvP and try to get rank, or they would get boosted or whatever, but they would actually participate with PvP. In Season 2, they removed it, so the PvEer in general is not going to PvP, because what's the reason except for gear? Because they don't like PvP, or at least they don't enjoy it as much as PvE, so they are not going to actively play PvP. So that's the reason it dropped. In Season 2, they made Covenant Switch a lot easier, they made the conquest boxes, so in general I think a lot of people would think that Season 2 is probably the best season for Shadowlands to play PvP, although for me it was Season 1. If you remove that Torghast or that Covenant Switch bullshit and that campaign gatekeeping, that made it worse. But I would say Season 2, with the mechanics of Season 2 into Season 1, it would have been one of the best. The reason why in Season 3 there is so low popularity or low participation is purely because of the reason that casuals got a rank in Season 2, so they actually played, they enjoyed it, they saw their rank going up because of the inflation of CR. So, for example, someone from a 1600 CR perspective is going to be around 2k in Season 2, because you gain more points than you lose, and if you have I would say even a negative ratio like a 49% or 48% win rate, you would still climb. While now, if you have a 50% win rate or even a 52% win rate, you are not going to climb as well, or at least it will be super slow. And sometimes you have days where you're going to lose all the games, and then some games you have days where you are going to win all the games. So the reason why those casuals from Season 2 are gone in Season 3, it is purely because they are actually facing a lot of people that are in the same situation. So let's say someone is a duelist. You are duelist level, and I am a duelist level, for example. We face each other, but we are at a 1600 CR. Basically, if you always play versus duelists and you are yourself a duelist, chances are you're not going to climb as fast, or you're not even going to climb at all, because you are facing versus the same kind of people, the same kind of CR, the same kind of level, which makes that actually the 1600 bracket becomes the duelist bracket from season 2. And you can say that the season 2 duelist level elite or glad is like welfare, but the reality is in season 3, 1600 doesn't feel like 1600 because you're facing versus glads, you're facing versus elites, you're facing versus duelists, or even rival 2s, whatever. So a real guy that is actually a real combatant or a real challenger player, so he's a challenger and he always was a challenger, he will not enjoy this season, because whenever he is going to reach challenger, he's going to face duelists, he's going to face glads, he's going to face boosters, he's going to face people that are actually playing at a higher level than him. So he will get stuck at challenger level and he will win a few games versus other challenger levels. But realistically, at the moment, how many people are actually a challenger level player? I would say in season 3 there are none. There are not really a lot of casuals. The casuals that are actually playing PvP, they are playing sporadically, and the chances are they are playing 2s. They are not playing 3s, and even whenever they are playing 3s, they do so little games that you are not going to face them. So you don't have a moment where you have a 0 CR character you want to climb that you're going to face versus complete noobs or complete people that don't know what they're doing. You're going to face people that have maybe the wrong comps, or they're playing like triple DPS, or they're playing with a protection paladin that is a healer and he plays like a cheesy way of playing the game, like for example Night Fae protection paladin with an assassination rogue over marksmanship or a marksmanship hunter. All those factors actually factors in how the game is now perceived. In season 3, I'm going to be honest, if you're going to watch right now in play versus player pre-made groups, you go in arenas, I'm going to type 3v3. First of all and foremost, we can remove all those boosters. So want to sell arena, report advertisement, and then you see all the real groups. Let's see. 2.7k XP. That guy is 480 rated. It may be an alt, but he's 480. So it means that someone that is a glad level player, he is going to face someone that is not a glad level player, and that guy, that casual that gets wrecked by those people, or people that are not as motivated to learn the game, they will get wrecked and just not play anymore. And that's the real problem. I don't know what the solution would be if they need to put a general CR for all the characters. So for example, if you are 2.4k XP on Affliction Warlock, that if you are going on another caster DPS, that you are not going to start at 0 CR, for example. That would be my solution, although I feel like this game is not made for that, because it's very hard, because let's face it, if you're like 2.4k as an Affliction Warlock and you're going to jump on a Fire Mage, for example, it is transmittable, but it's not. Those are not the same comps, not the same way of play. You might get wrecked at 2.4k as a Fire Mage. You also have gear to count for. There's a lot of things that are actually into account, but this makes it very hard for the casual player to actually enjoy playing. Like a 480 rated guy that has 2.7k XP, it might be in a ward or in mop, but doesn't matter, but he has the XP. Here, for example, I'm going to take another one, 2.8k XP, and he's a duelist player. So whenever you're going into the duelist category, so you are a duelist player and you're going to face versus glads, is it fair to face versus glads? No, you're going to get wrecked at one point. So it will be even harder to get elite, for example. Although maybe you are an elite player, you will need to face versus a lot stronger players to actually climb. So if you are a 2100 player and you face that comp, you might lose because they have like more experience than you. It's not always like this because comp and synergy is also accounted for, but let's talk only about the experience. Here he's a 1.4k, he doesn't give the experience, but if I check PvP, he might be a duelist, or he might be a rival 2 player, or he might be a 2.4k player. That all in all makes it very hard to actually judge someone based on CR. Here, 2.8k rogue, he is now 2k. Here, it's a glad rogue, he is now 2k. For example, here he is 2.9k 2.9k XP last season. He's now 2.1. Here 2.4k CR on characters, and he is 1.9k. Those, it doesn't matter if they are telling the XP. I'm going to say that on the field it feels like this. So if you are playing and you are like, let's say, rival, and you're queuing in rival, how many times do you see a glad mount, or how many times do you feel like the level are not really rival, but they are glad, for example? Or if you are glad and you are at 1.8k and you face versus other glads, does it not make a 1.8k bracket actually a glad level bracket? Because if you're facing all the time versus glads, and yourself are a glad player, and you play in that bracket, doesn't it make a glad bracket at the end of the day? Because the feel is still the same. You're playing versus the same players. If you put Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, he's now playing United. You put him in the second division of English Premier League, for example, or the third division, and you put all the good players at the second tier of the English League, for example. Doesn't it make the second league, the second division of the English Premier League, actually the same level as the Premier League itself, because you have all the best players there? So it does mean that the bracket, so the second division from the English Premier League, actually up the level. It is not the club or the division that actually gives the level of those clubs. The level of those clubs are made by the players and also the budget. But let's talk now about World of Warcraft. If you have, like, for example, you're facing Peekaboo at 1.8k, you're facing Zaryu at 1.8k, you're facing, for example, Upsturge at 1.8k, if they are re-rolling another character, is it safe to say that really, if you are a 1.8k player, is it fair to face versus them? Or vice versa, if you're a glad and you're facing another glad on the same bracket, but it is not a glad level bracket, isn't just not ridiculous how you cannot climb any further if you are always playing versus same kind of players, the same kind of people, the same kind of CR? So that's the problem with the casual community that actually just dropped off from the actual game. They don't want to grind for ages to get to the rank they should deserve. It's hard to say, because, to be honest, if you are 1.8k and you are a glad level player and you're facing other glad level players, it just means that 1.8k is not as bad bracket as it seems. And it's the same for also lower brackets. Like, for example, 0 CR. I remember before, when we were 0 CR, we were alting, we played versus complete noobs back in the day. But now, 0 CR, some matches are super sweaty because they are not 0 CR players, and you are not either, because you are alting. So someone that is new to PvP just starts PvP at 0 CR, he is going to get wrecked by everyone. And if he doesn't have the mental fortitude to actually improve their gameplay to a somewhat respectable level, then it becomes actually harder to enjoy the game for those kinds of players. I play, even though sometimes I'm getting wrecked and sometimes I win matches. I have a 50% win rate, 55% win rate across all my characters, but I'm realistically climbing very slow, and it is the same for everyone, except if you are a rank 1 player or a glad player that actually has a glad team. Of course you're going to wreck everyone, because you have the communication, you have the team synergy, you have also the personal knowledge, so you are going to have a 90% win rate, and then you will climb super fast to the rank 1 or glad levels. But someone that is actually at a 55% or a 60% win rate, that becomes very hard to climb, because you're winning 15 and then you lose 14, and then you win 15 and then you lose 14, and then sometimes you lose 2 times or 3 times in a row, and then you win 3 times in a row. You win actually only like 6 CR at the end of the day. So I hope you guys understand what I'm telling. I'm going to give you one more analogy and then I'm going to shut down the video. On League of Legends, in Season 3, I began Season 3 League of Legends. In Season 3, Bronze was bad. Like, Bronze level was bad. Those are the people that just began the game. Now, realistically, they are at Season 12 or Season 11, I don't remember. Who is actually new on that game? Everyone has played League of Legends at some point. Which new players are actually coming into the game, except people that are coming back from the game because they played Season 10 and now they are Season 12? Or they played Season 6 and now they are Season 12 and they're coming back, but no one is a true newbie on that game. And I would say that World of Warcraft has the same sigma. There is no real true newbies anymore. There are people that, yeah, are trying PvP because they want to go back into PvP and they are trying to learn, but the skill set has only improved and not decreased with the time. So it means that someone that's playing since Wrath and stopped at WoD and plays back at Shadowlands, he is going to be at a respectable level because he already played it, or he has information on YouTube to how to getting caught up with the new spells, for example. But on League of Legends, it's the same. A bronze level player right now is not bronze. It's a lot higher because the people that are in bronze and they are facing versus each other are either smurfs, or they are like people that are gold level or platinum level, but they are not like really grinding, or they're playing little to no games, or they are, like I said, smurfs. So they have a second or third account and they have a third account at bronze and they want to try to climb, or they are trying to test things up, like people that are alting in World of Warcraft. They have the same problems. I think every game has that. I don't remember a game where a bronze level player is already bronze right now. They are not bronze because they are really bad. They are bronze because they don't grind, or they have a second or third account, or they are testing things out, or they are really casual and just play for fun, which can also happen. But who is really new in a game? And those new players that are actually going into Shadowlands, they are not staying because they are facing versus higher level players. So I think they should just come back with a bit of inflation on Season 3, at least Season 4, make it enjoyable to grind. They could just add more ranks to maybe not devaluate the glad levels, for example, but they should make it actually possible to enjoy the game. For the casuals, I don't care. For me, if I'm facing versus glads and I'm not a glad and I win versus them, I'm actually very happy. But a lot of people, they just don't want to face versus glads if they are not a glad level player, and I can understand that. And that's why on League of Legends, people that are smurfing are not really the great guys that are looking up to. They are probably more hated than the normal players, for example. So that's my analogy. I hope you can understand what I mean. I don't think it's based about the gameplay, because I feel like the gameplay is still the same. Okay, they have OP things, but in Wrath of the Lich King, you're also going to get 3-shotted by a warrior. You're also going to get like destroyed by a Retribution Paladin or an Enhancement Shaman or a Fire Mage that is going to combust on you, or anything else. So yeah, that was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It is quite long because I wanted to explain all the things, but I discussed it on the stream. I thought like it would be a good video to actually explain to my viewers or subscribers or people that are new to my channel why at the moment the participation is very low. I don't think it is gameplay related. I just think the casuals are not playing, or the PvEers are not playing, and those are the numbers that you want on your expansion, or at least those are the numbers that you want in PvP. The people that are casual and PvEers are the one that actually makes the numbers for PvP to actually be rewarding to play, because you're going to play versus noobs, you're going to play versus pros, you're going to play versus intermediate players. But at the moment, I feel like the noob level, the beginners level, is not here. So a lot of people that are actually around that level are not enjoying the game, so they are also leaving. And now we are with a situation where everyone is at least rival. since past seasons, or at least elite, or at least duelist, or at least glad. And that's the issue. I feel like whenever I'm checking on check PvP, I'm never ever encountering someone that is never breaking out rival, for example, at the moment on World of Warcraft. And I think that's the big issue with World of Warcraft. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like those kinds of content. Like the video if you like the video. Comment below what you think about the current game. Are you enjoying it? Are you still playing it? What is the reason why you stopped? Is it because of the gameplay really, or is it because of the amount of things that is around the games? For example, the CR, the MMR system, the ranking up become maybe a bit harder for you, or you feel like you're only playing versus boosters or versus glads. Let me know in the comments section below. I hope you will have a great day. We will see each other very soon. Bye.